And now, this is a little segment we like to call Thanks for Writing.
Zatstar writes, "Hey guys, big fan of your show. Thank you. Please do a review of Hershey Park or give your thoughts on Tempesto." Sure, we can do a review of Hershey Park. We would love to do one. Not sure when we'll get to it. We'll put it on the list though. That's actually a really good one for us to do, especially for you, Brian, because you have a big history with that park.
I had a 10-year streak. 10 consecutive seasons. Every season in the 90s, I went to Hershey Park.
That's actually kind of funny because right when you stopped going is right when I started going.
Yes, and then I only took a couple seasons off, and then I went back. And I've gone a ton of times in the 21st century as well, so been there a ton.
Yeah, I think there's a bunch to say about that park, so we'll get to it eventually. As for Tempesto, the new coaster at Busch Gardens Williamsburg for 2015.
Yeah, they finally announced it.
Yeah, it took them forever. When did they open? Like tomorrow? Or they open already?
And they might have opened already, yeah.
And they just announced this thing.
I really thought they weren't going to. I thought it got to the point where they were just embarrassed, and they just never worked. They were just going to act surprised when it was there. Oh, look what popped up over the winter. Look at this weed. And then just kind of be like, oh, well, people can't really complain if we never advertised it. Some hooligans just snuck in the middle of the night, plopped it down in our park. We couldn't help it. So it's almost that sort of thing. It's almost plausible deniability. That's what I thought they might have been going for after all.
This is a premiere launched coaster.
Premiere. Thank you, Penguin.
It looks like it's exactly the same ride as Superman Ultimate Flight at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. So they got a shelf model.
Not only that, but they got a very low capacity shelf model.
Yes, I don't think it's possible to understate how dumb of a move this is for them. This is not what this park needs.
This is terrible. Stupid move.
This is why I don't know when we're going to go back to this park.
If it wasn't for Alpengeist, I probably would not.
I love Griffin too. Griffin's great.
Yeah, Griffin is good. But yeah, the Geister, I can't go the rest of my life and never ride that again. So I'll have to go back there at some point, but that's the only reason why.
So Tempesto, bad move.
It's just, you don't want a low capacity ride like that. It's, I think maybe 12 people tops every ride cycle.
I think it's 18.
Wait, okay, it's a little bit better than 12, but
not much.
That's still very few riders. It has to be one train operation, and never will not be, because it's not a regular full circuit ride. It goes forward and backward on itself. It's a large park. It's a very big park. It does pull decent numbers, and there's no reason why they would have a ride with this low of a capacity. It's guaranteed hour waits.
Yeah.
On a good day. And then 2 to 3 hours most days, or on the busier summer days. Why would you do that? Why would you spring for a ride when you know that's going to be the case? Just the capacity alone should have disqualified it from this park.
Yeah,
from
I
Busch
agree.
Williamsburg. Then you could throw in, does it even fit as far as it is just a cheap thrill, essentially? And is that really a good fit? Because they've never really gone for just the cheap thrill. And that's even if it is a good thrill, and I don't know. The one thing closest to this that we have done is X Coaster.
Oh, right.
In Magic Springs. And I didn't think it was that very good. It was just okay.
No,
it was an experience,
not that good,
but it wasn't. I guess the major difference is this Tempesto will be launched, whereas there was just a pullback lift hill. Or not even, no, it was a forward. It was actually just a regular lift hill, but it took you all the way upside down. That's right.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to start a ride, but it's not that's not a fully realized concept. It's one idea.
Yeah, it's an idea that didn't need to be used. But again, even if it's a decent enough thrill, it just doesn't work in Busch Williamsburg.
One of the things that pisses me off the most about this is that it's a shelf model. Not that all shelf models are bad.
Batman the Ride.
Exactly. Love Batman the Ride. But Busch Williamsburg, they should be better than this. This is a world-class park. This is a lazy, cheap, thoughtless move.
I think it's like if Busch Williamsburg in around 96 or 7, let's say 97, instead of getting Alpengeist, they got an Invertigo.
Okay.
And now, some 18 years later, it's kind of that.
Yeah, okay.
Instead of getting some fully developed, custom, world-class, launched, looping, with maybe a Heartline, some kind of Heartline roller coaster, whatever you want to consider this premier ride to be, they just go with this shelf. You can just throw it in anywhere ride. So it just shows how far the park has fallen, to kind of go back to. To call back to one of our prior episodes, we already talked about the rise and fall of Busch Gardens. If you haven't listened to that one yet, you should definitely check it out. We'll throw a link on there for you. Make it easy for you. And this just shows how that park just continues to fall. Because 18 years ago, they would never have thought of doing an Invertigo.
I mean, even... when was Griffin put in? The 2007?
Griffin? Where's the Griffin? Where's the Griffin at? How do I get to the Griffin? That was 2007.
2007, so that was 8 years ago. Even 8 years ago, they put in a really awesome ride. You know, tallest dive machine. In a pretty short period of time, they have really fucked that park up. And it's really, really sad.
Absolutely.
And this is just another nail in the coffin.
It's really unfortunate.
I sort of hate to judge this ride without having ridden it, but I feel like I don't really need to.
Yeah, I think we're okay. Because, again, even if it is a great thrill, but it doesn't fit in this park.
Yeah.
And I think I'm justified in saying that no matter what. I don't have to ride it first to say that. Now, if it is a fun ride, if it's a concept that really works, great, then maybe it's a little less of a mistake. But it's still a mistake, I think, and I don't think that's going to change. Maybe the only other saving grace here is that it's not replacing an otherwise beloved attraction.
No, that's true.
Yeah, they didn't tear out all of Da Vinci's Garden.
Oh, God.
To put this in. I wouldn't have put that past them.
Oh, no.
At this point. But they didn't. They didn't destroy yet another classic part of that park to put this piece of shit in. They didn't do that. So I guess that is a saving grace here. So it's just an addition. So for better or worse, kind of like Mock Tower was. Because that was a bad choice too, but it wasn't worth getting too much up in arms about because it didn't destroy an area of the park or any one ride. Even the Scrambler got moved. It's still there in the park. Yeah. So yeah, it looks like they're just continuing with the minimalist theme that area has to begin with. The whole Festa Italia area. Just playing into that, like, oh, we're putting it there so we can keep it as bare bones as possible. It's just gonna be another, probably like Apollo's Chariot, another like mock tent station. Like the station's just, it's a tent. And then you just launch out of the tent and there you go.
Because it's like a Daredevil carnival theme thing. So they don't have to. Put a couple bales of hay there, a couple banners, and call it.
I mean, if anything, if they were gonna do this ride, they could have put it in the warehouse. And then really had some fun with it. And you could have had lights and circus music. It could have been at least a little more into a Daredevil theme.
You could have flaming rings that you go through or something.
Ring of fire.
But looks like they're not doing that shit.
Well, obviously they're not. But yeah, I mean, you could have even done that at least. That would have given this type of ride what I would have considered to be the Busch twist. Back when Busch was definitely the third tier behind Disney and Universal. But I don't know anymore. I really don't. I don't know where the hell they land anymore. They're just bad calls all around. So, Zavatar, I hope you enjoyed our review, or our comments, of the upcoming ride, Tempesto. Good suggestion. Thank you for being a fan. Thanks for listening. Thanks for riding. No, thanks for writing. A few people, and they're probably not people who are fans of us at all, but I know there was a few comments and a lot of thumbs down back on our Blackfish. It was really the short one, the kind of addendum to the main episode, where we did we read and talked about the official SeaWorld Parks and Entertainment response to Blackfish. And we had a lot of negative comments. Is there anything specific we should look at?
Zidrope Shaxel writes.
Oh, Zidrope Shock Top.
Sure, yeah.
Jump rope shock top writes.
This is a big shock top there. This video is one-sided. How is today's SeaWorld responsible for what happened 35 years ago?
We were simply just going through what the official SeaWorld response was to Blackfish and laughing, joking, and otherwise just pointing out how bad it was. How what they were using as their primary defense, at least at that time, that was a full year or so ago already now, was really piss poor. And I didn't think it really defended them at all. They were just sort of giving a few disparate facts and just glossing over some other stuff, and they didn't really defend themselves. Well, the point of that episode wasn't really to take a side. It was just to show how that response from SeaWorld was really not up to par. I thought they could have done a better job. Yeah, maybe, I guess it came through. I guess we do maybe lean a little bit more towards the Free Willy side of things. But it certainly wasn't the point of that. So some people that took that away. One comment was, this video is one-sided. And I thought that was kind of interesting. We are theme park guys, of course, and I know there has been a lot of theme park voices, certainly since Blackfish came out, that have been all 100% supporting SeaWorld.
Yes.
And just kind of crapping on and dismissing Blackfish, the documentary, and any ideas or sentiments or anything that brings up. Solely, I think, because they're theme park people and they just don't want to see SeaWorld hurt, and especially don't want to see it closed down. So it's sort of an ulterior motive kind of thing. At least I think so.
Yeah, I agree.
I just feel there's been a lot of that going on, especially around the time of Blackfish. So maybe some people were getting on us for that. Maybe say, and I understand. I especially love Manta.
Oh yeah.
I already liked Kraken though, but Manta really was the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
In Orlando, and yeah, I don't want to see the park close either. But we said in our longer episode about it, we don't think it will. We never thought it would.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Due to Blackfish, so I think we were just being honest and being ourselves and doing what we try to do all the time on Thanks for Riding, which is give our honest opinion and take.
And Sean Jones writes, also on that Blackfish video.
Oh, more.
This fucking video is annoying as fuck.
Well, Sean, point taken.
I couldn't agree with you more. Thanks for writing. Bob Smith writes about our Knoebels Park review. Holy good God, this is horrible.
Thank you, Bob.
Glad you liked it.
Thanks for writing. All right, Andrew, here we have an email. Electronic mail.
Ooh, open up the old mailbag, huh?
Yeah, mail sent electronically.
Wait, what?
So this is from Jake Rule. He writes, "Hey guys, love listening to the show." Well, thank you very much, Jake.
Thank you.
All right, Jake writes, "I've been going to Six Flags Great Adventure ever since I was born. My parents went to the park as teenagers and started bringing my sister and I to the park from the beginning. Still visit the park every season. My question for you, and could be a possible topic for a podcast, oh really, is about theming in the Six Flags parks, specifically Great Adventure. Where has the good theming gone in the park?" He goes on to write about being impressed by the theming in, I guess, the 90s, talking about Houdini in the very late 90s, Skull Mountain, Batman the Ride, early 90s, and then, it brings up Viper, Great Adventures Viper, which was a Togo Heartline machine. Rough ride. It did have an awesome Western town queue.
Yes, it did.
Really detailed and extensive. He brings up that the ghost town, he calls it. Kind of mentions Fright Fest also being better in the past and dropping off today. I know Six Flags isn't Disney, Universal, or even Busch Gardens. Well, is Busch Gardens even Busch Gardens anymore? But anyway. But I did really appreciate the theming they did have, and it did seem like they were trying. It seemed like they were still trying with Kingda Ka, he brings up, and El Toro even. But then saying after that, everything's been lazy. Why has theming all but vanished? Well, Jake, that is a great question. Interesting topic. I don't disagree. There definitely was a time when theming was better in the Six Flags company as a whole, but we're really, I guess now we're just going to focus on Great Adventure. But it's not an even trajectory. It's not like the park had great theming and then all of a sudden fell off recently. There was an original concept that was put into place when the park opened, 1974, before Six Flags ever came on board. There was themed elements as part of it. They weren't really cohesive. It was kind of these disparate things. The fort, the ice cream palace, as kind of a separate thing.
Such a funny theme.
Yeah, just a giant palace made of ice cream.
Yeah.
But the theme, there's a giant teepee, a giant Conestoga wagon. Really, it was the theme, if there was a unifying theme, was just larger than life. But then, after that, and then the early Six Flags years, when they first took over the park, there was really no theming to speak of. They were just putting rides in bare bones, pretty much. So, now it sounds like Jake, probably that was before his time. He probably didn't start going to the park until the 90s. It's kind of when I gather. Well, he said since birth, though. So, like, I guess he popped out and his parents, first thing they did was took him to Great Adventure, apparently.
Yeah, great parents, by the way.
Yeah,
taking him to the parks early, getting him started.
Great.
Right from the beginning.
Great for them. Yeah. Oh, awesome. Well, I was there young. I was about 3.
Pretty young.
No, 2. Maybe 2.
No, 1. Wait, hold on.
No.
2 days. Hold on.
I wasn't born yet. I was born in Great Adventure. What am I saying?
Was conceived on the log flume.
Oh boy. What a flume it was. Theme took a major boost with the Warner Brothers era in the 90s.
Yeah.
That was the time when Six Flags was pumping out heavily themed attractions.
Yeah, they did. What did they do? They did Batman the Ride.
Yeah, heavy theme with the whole Gotham Park and the power plant station, the whole thing.
They did
Chiller.
Oh, Chiller.
Towards the end of that era, they did Chiller. So a second Batman theme ride is Skull Mountain.
Oh, Skull Mountain, right.
Which never really came together as good as it could have. The ride part of it, always kind of warehousey, but an incredible queue in the station.
They themed the ceiling.
They
went all the way around.
All the way. It's just an incredible looking station. Really is great.
So that era, yeah, they did a lot of cool theme jobs.
The Mach 1 Adventure, the right stuff.
Oh, that was very well done.
Full fighter jet coming out of hangar doors. I mean, and for Great Adventure, that's the time they didn't even have really a fully developed or fully realized themed lands up until the early 90s. And that's when they finally decided on making the themed lands throughout the park. Yes, they definitely did better in those days, but in the premiere era, they didn't completely drop off. They still did a decent job. It became a little more hit or miss. Something like Superman Ultimate Flight at Great Adventure is minimalist. But, as it said in the email here, yeah, Kingda Ka with the Golden Kingdom, that was all out.
Yeah, that was very well done.
When they built El Toro, they just reused the Viper Station, which was already pretty well themed. And then they put the whole Plaza del Carnaval.
Yeah, I really like that.
It's a really nice looking area, and still to this day looks really nice. They put the nice colored lights. strings of lights across the midway and everything, and it looks really nice.
Yeah.
But then I guess that's about it, isn't it? And then the theme stops there. So that's about 2006.
They did do Dark Knight. They attempted.
I was going to say, yeah, he mentions Dark Knight. He says the Dark Knight coaster, terrible ride, but cool theming. I think that's even too generous, personally. I wouldn't call it cool. It's a box.
What are you talking about? It blends in with the sky seamlessly.
Oh yes, one side they put some sky paint on.
Well, they tried. They attempted to do something there.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Not really, no. So it comes down to different regimes and money.
Yeah, it's the story of all these different managements over the years, and for better or for worse, how each era did and what they were doing, what their focus was. And I think today, now, yeah, I think it really comes down to the financial situation, the fact that it's not that good, and quality theming is not cheap, all the way from the design phase, paying designers, paying people to come up with this stuff, all the way through fabricating it and building it and installing it and then maintaining it even after a ride opens. So it's a lot of extra expense on top of just putting in a ride system. In these days when Six Flags is borderline bankrupt pretty much every year, I think they really just have decided they're just not going to worry about theme anymore. At least right now. I think it could definitely come back one day. I don't think it's a dead issue, because theming in the industry as a whole is certainly alive and well. So I think Six Flags could come back around, and we could see a bit of a renaissance of theme era for Six Flags as a whole, and Great Adventure I think would definitely be included in that. But right now I don't see it changing. They're certainly not really doing anything this year.
Well, how about this? I'm kind of veering off a little bit, but we crap on Six Flags for lack of theming. But what about the Cedar Fair parks?
In comparison,
Yeah.
Well, there was, again, like we went over, the Warner Brothers era, where they definitely had a plan and they had an idea and a vision that we want to really theme up these parks. Cedar Fair, 90s to now, has never been about theme. Who's more financially healthy today?
It's an interesting point.
Now, do I personally think it's the lack of theme is why Cedar Fair is more financially stable? No. But I don't know that even people within Six Flags today think that either. But you can look and say, well, look, they're doing fine. They're our main competition. They're not really doing the theme thing. We tried it. We made other mistakes at the same time, and that's really why we are in the predicament that we're in. But nevertheless, we have to do everything we can to save money today. And our main competition isn't doing theme much, if at all, so why do we have to? So there's a little bit of that too. If Cedar Fair took a turn and did the theme, maybe it would start some more competition in the theme realm of things within the regional parks. But right now, the more healthy, stable chain of regional parks isn't doing the theme, so Six Flags, all the more reason why they don't have to. There's no pressure.
Yeah, it's funny because
that's interesting. I'm glad you brought up Cedar Fair.
Yeah, well, because Cedar Fair doesn't try at all with theme, but I think more highly of the Cedar Fair parks than the Six Flags parks.
Yeah, I do too.
And I'm trying to think
Why?
why exactly that is.
Well, operations.
And it's right, it's other, components, other areas.
Cleanliness, staff friendliness, and staff knowledge and stuff like that. I want to say food. I guess the food is better. Food, right? Actually, I don't know about that.
No, I don't know. Well, it's like, which chains do you like better? The ones that Six Flags has in their parks, or the ones that Cedar Fair has in their parks?
Or Panda Express, which they both have.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, but do you like Johnny Rockets? Do you like Pinks? Do you like...
Well, they both have Giant Rockets, too.
Oh, I forgot about that, actually.
Well, Cedar Fair had Johnny Rockets when it was good.
That's true, yeah.
And then Six Flags bought it and put it in every one of their parks, and it sucked.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. The food sucks at both parks.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but yes.
I do like Pink's, though. I will say that. I did enjoy that.
But I like Nathan's better, though. Great Adventure has Nathan's.
Yeah. That's the only one, though.
I know, it's weird.
Yeah, it's very strange.
No other Six Flags park has Nathan's.
We're getting way off now.
Oh my god, what has happened? You know what, Jake Roll, you're a real asshole. You gave us this topic, and now we're just going on for hours about nothing. You ruined the show. You ruined our lives. Oh god. Holy good god, this is horrible. No, we're just kidding around. We love it. This is great. So I think this has been great. We really do enjoy reading your comments.
Yep, we do read them.
I think we finally proved that we do.
We may not respond to all of the comments, but we do read them.
Yeah, we do. We read them. We laugh at the funny ones. We laugh harder at the negative ones. We even enjoy those. We really do. So please keep them coming. We'll do more of these Thanks for Writing episodes to cover more of the emails and comments that we get.
Subscribe if you like what you hear and you want to get notified when we post a new episode.
Yeah, tell your friends, tell your coaster-loving buddies about us.
And if you want to shoot us an email, you can send it to thanksforriding@yahoo.com.
We're on Facebook, too.
Facebook? I don't know. The fumes in that place. Wait, we have one more. Tony Tedesco writes, "Stop. Scarish is my favorite coaster."